I'm Damon Fernandez.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Shamekia Kelly wanted to be a nurse, but she never got that chance. Her family says she was found at the Lakeside Village Apartments in Clinton Township, right across from the old Lakeside Mall.
Mystery out of Clinton Township, a woman's death and no sign of killer, but the woman's family has their eye on someone close to her.
Ruben, those warning signs, they didn't come in the form of physical injuries, no bruises or anything like that.
So we have an unfortunate situation out of Clinton Township, which is a city right above Detroit, Michigan. A young lady was found inside of an apartment, unfortunately no longer living, and the media is not telling you who could be responsible. They're kind of giving you hints. Well, I'm going to tell you the full deal, okay? I'm going to expose everything to you. Fugitive TV, stay tuned. Welcome to Fugitive TV. I am your host, Ray Marcel, where we take a look at cases, and what we do here is we take a look at them from a different perspective, because I was once a fugitive on the run from the law myself. I did some white collar crime years ago, a dumb mistake, and then I ended up going on a run for about 15 years. I was living in different countries under different names before I turned myself in. Now I have this channel. I'm a motivational speaker. I own a few businesses. And what I do with this channel, and also outside of this channel, is I help families locate missing individuals or bring cases that need a spotlight that I feel, hey, it needs a spotlight. And I also try and find individuals that need to be brought to justice that are on the run. Who else is better to find them than somebody who did it for so long? I have great experience at it. Now, there's a case out of Clinton Township, okay? So Clinton Township is a small, or I should say smaller city or town that I believe it's north of Detroit. I've been in Detroit, but I've never been to Clinton Township. We have a woman, her name is Shamekia Kelly. Shamekia Kelly was 36 years old. Unfortunately, they found her body inside of an apartment building. Now, please forgive me, because on YouTube with smaller channels, I'm not that big yet. So on smaller channels, you have to watch what you say and have a filter, or they will not advertise your video out to the masses. So in order for this video to reach the masses of people, I have to maintain a certain filter. So certain words I can't use, like the M-U-R-D-E-R word. So if you ever wonder why some of us say unalive, that is why. Blame YouTube. Now, unfortunately, she was found unalived in the apartment building, okay? Now, what they are saying is that she was poked to death. She was stabbed to death. Now, they're not saying how many times. They're not saying with what. They're not really telling you who, but they are giving you clues by letting the family say who they believe is possible, okay? Now, I did my research, I did my digging, and I did find this individual's name. I found the whole background. I even found where he could possibly been going to. We're going to get into that, okay? So I'm going to read you this article from Fox 2 Detroit. It says, a woman was stabbed, poked to death in Clinton Township, and the person is nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, the woman's family has had their eyes on someone close to her who they believe may have done it. There weren't obvious signs, no bruises or injuries, but the victim's family say her on and off again boyfriend, so the boyfriend, was toxic, and he was toxic. I'm going to show you his whole background. It was toxic to begin with before she even got with him. And how he's nowhere to be found now. The man is currently on the run, but not for these charges. I'm going to tell you what for. Kelvin Bracey's oldest daughter, 36-year-old Shamekia Kelly, was unalived and found 2 days later in her apartment in Clinton Township. It's like my heart's been torn apart and I don't know how to mend it or get my feelings back, said Kelvin. He needs to turn himself in before I find him, because I don't know what I would do if I saw him. Kelvin, I don't blame you. As a father myself, I do not blame you. And I don't think anybody watching this video would. Shamekia was about to graduate nursing school before. They say her life was taken. They're pointing the finger at her boyfriend of 4 years, you guys. They were together for 4 years. Tamira, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Tamira is Shamekia's younger sister. She wasn't coming home with a black eye or anything. We never saw nothing like that, but it was more of a mentally toxic relationship. Mentally toxic, meaning sometimes mental abuse could be more than physical abuse. It is sometimes harder to get over mental abuse before getting over physical abuse. Yes, bruises can heal. We all know this, but mental abuse can last a lifetime until, unfortunately, you die. They're getting impatient, but say justice is worth the wait. What goes on in the dark always comes to light. So whatever you think you're doing, getting away with, you're not, is what her sister said. Now, they are doing a, forensic and things like that on the apartment, on her body. They're doing all that stuff, I guess, before they make an official arrest of the suspect and things of that nature. Now, like I said, they're not telling you how many times he used a weapon to do this. They're not giving out that information. A lot of information they're probably going to keep close. It was even hard for me to find the exact timeline.
And those warning signs, they didn't come in the form of physical injuries, no bruises or anything like that. But they did say that the young woman who was on again, off again with a boyfriend for about 4 years. They are strongly pointing the finger at him tonight. Although he has not been named a suspect, we do know that he recently got out of prison on other crimes.
So if anybody who's familiar with this case knows the exact timeline, you're welcome to email me or you're welcome to even comment below. But far as I know, they're saying they found her Tuesday. So if we're going by this week, they found her this past Tuesday. All right. Which, if that's the case, that would have been the 31st. That would have been yesterday. So I don't know if it was this Tuesday or last Tuesday. They're also saying before they found her on a Tuesday that it happened, I guess the situation, her being unalived, happened 2 days prior to them finding her, okay? So that possibly could have been the 29th or 30th. Or it could have been the 22nd or 23rd. I'm not sure. But one of these dates do line up with something. Like I said, I can't find a timeline of this for some reason. Like the news is not telling me this is the date. They're not saying that. They're just saying 3 days ago, 4 days ago. So I got to look at the news article, the date they posted it, and try and backtrack. I don't know why they're not giving the date out. So people who are doing these news articles and you're writing the news, please put the date. If you can find the date, it helps a lot of people out when reading your article. Now, what I'm going to do is also read you from another article here. All right. And this article says the same thing. It says that the same exact thing as this one says. This article probably copied and pasted. But right now we're going to go to Local 4 and I'm going to read you this. It says, gathering in Detroit East Side neighborhood where Shamekia Kelly grew up, her family shared their heartbreak after police said a 36-year-old was found STABB to death last week at the Lakeside Village Apartments in Clinton Township. She was a joy. She brought joy to our family, said her sister, Navira. Duran said Kelly was in nursing school and she was a nurse in school and loved to care for people, adding she worked as a tech for more than 10 years. The family said they became worried when they couldn't reach her. We were trying to reach her, going to voicemail. Her job did a welfare check on her, and that's when they discovered her deceased in her apartment. You notice this article is giving you a little more detail than the Fox article. The Vox article didn't give you nothing really. Kelly's sister, Tamir Bracey, said, the family is demanding answers. She was a loving person. She didn't deserve this at all. She was my big sister. I want justice for her. I want justice for her as well. And I'm pretty sure anybody watching this video wants justice for her. You are not alone. I'm letting you know that right now. When we would be on the phone, she would be whispering like she's scared to voice herself or rush me off the phone. So this is the mental abuse they're talking about. So something was going on mentally with her. She's saying that sometimes it sounded like she couldn't, talk on the phone. She had to whisper. Kelly's aunt, Yolanda Bracey, urged others to recognize warning signs. I just want to urge these young ladies that domestic violence is just not always abuse as physical. It can start from isolation. See? Exactly what I'm telling you guys. She said it right here. Now, what I'm going to do is, I know what you guys want to see is who is this individual? What is going on with him? Let's get into him.
What has your family been through?
Hell and back.
His oldest daughter found 2 days later in her apartment in Clinton Township last week.
It's like my heart been torn apart. and I don't know how to mend it.
A dad broken, his daughter's killer still out there.
He need to turn himself in before I find him. Because I don't know what I'd do if I see him.
So I'm not saying that he did it whatsoever, but I'm going to show you this right here. You see this? This is Al Fairfax. This is the alleged boyfriend of the last 4 years. This is his criminal report. I'm going to read and go down the list. And you guys can let me know where's the red flags to begin with this individual. Okay? This is from the Iowa Department of Corrections, meaning this man served time in prison, okay? But let's look at what he served time for. There's a felony charge right here that says not specified. Not specified. So sometimes what they'll do is they'll put the felony charge and they'll put not specified. So you got to play the guessing game of what it is. And then you got to really dig into the courts to figure out exactly what that is. Now, here's another one. Assault with great bodily harm. Okay, now look at this right here. All right, MURDER or by strangulation, but it says less unaliving or by strangulation, meaning that he probably had his hands around somebody to the point of they could have passed away, but probably released them and it didn't happen. Now, right here, it also says home invasion, 2nd degree. Home invasion is when you pretty much break into somebody's house or you run up into somebody's house while the people are still there, people. Similar, just like Nancy Guthrie, while the people are still there. He has a forgery charge, a robbery that was unarmed. Now, some of these charges are like not that far away. 2017, assault with a dangerous weapon. So right now he's already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can consider 5 charges that are already violent. Violent. That's a pattern, people. Violent. Stolen property. Receiving and concealing. Unsupported. Another one is unsupported. Obstruct official business. And then right here, we're going to see, it's going to tell us sentence was 10 years for the strangulation charge. He got 10 years. Looks like he was paroled 2021. The date's not always correct on these, but it shows 2021. Another sentence for 15 years, still paroled 2021. Had a probation on this charge for stolen property. Another probation on the home invasion. He got probation on home invasion. Interesting. Interesting. He got probation on a home invasion charge. Huh. Forgery. Okay. There's a couple of these charges that show dismissed, like the weapons charge shows dismissed. So sometimes what will happen is they'll charge you, let's say 4 charges, okay? 4 or 5 charges. And a lot of times when you take a plea deal, they'll say, okay, we'll drop 2 of these other charges, but you got to plead to the 3rd. A lot of times that will happen. Sometimes people will end up turning informants, snitching or telling and get a charge dropped too. Now, I'm not saying this is what he did, but it's very possible. Forgery, I mean, this guy, it goes long. A lot of forgery charges. Then you have this right here, offender tracking information system. This is pretty much his mugshot from Wayne, Michigan. Okay. Physical appearance, black, 6'1", 175 to 180 pounds. He also has a scar on his left forehead. Now, he's not on the run for what's going on right now, but I'm going to tell you what he's possibly on the run for. And not only that, I'm also going to tell you where he could be at. Now, I said he's not on the run over Shamekia Kelly because as far as we know, they haven't put out a warrant for him or even labeled him a suspect yet. As far as we know, now the police probably do, but they're probably doing all the forensics to get all the evidence, okay, before they can make that decision. But I'm not law. So what he is on the run for right now, when I was digging deep, was I found that he absconded his parole. He was on parole. So remember, he paroled in 2021. I'm not sure how long his parole is for, but he paroled in 2021, which gives us 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Okay. So in the article, it says that Shamekia and him were dating for 4 years, meaning that she pretty much started dating him almost right when he got out of prison. So I'm wondering if she knew he got out of prison, or she knew, you know, like, hey, you got out of prison, but does she know the extent of his history and what went on with this individual? That I don't know. But he did abscond from his parole. Now, the interesting part is the date he absconded from his parole was around March 22nd, March 23rd, which was Sunday or Monday of last week. All right. So if they did find her, like I said, they didn't give me these articles don't give timelines or dates. So if they did find her on Tuesday of the 24th, that was the same week he didn't check in his parole officer or whatever happened. Okay. Now, if they found her on the 31st, I mean, that's still a week apart from him absconding. So I don't know if he did this, you know, and then went absconding. I don't even know, you know, allegedly did this, right? But what I can tell you is this man, now I wish I can show you this, but YouTube guidelines, I can't show you everything. I can't show you actual like location with numbers and streets and all. I wish I could, but I can't. But what I can tell you is this happened at Lakeside Village Apartments, all right? And here on his background report, it does show apartment 303. So I'm guessing that is the apartment that he was possibly sharing the address with Shamekia. But I will let you know this. He also has an area, Detroit, Michigan, off College Street. Okay, off College Street. There is a family member that lives there. I don't know who the family member is, but there's a family member that lives there. Also in Highland Park, Michigan, family there too. This man does have a lot of family, okay? He has family from Shelby, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Perry, Georgia, Mansfield, Illinois. Remember, he did his time in Illinois. Or Iowa, sorry, Mansfield, Iowa. He did his time in Iowa. Romulus, Michigan, Louisville, Kentucky again, Occobeek, Maryland. I don't think he would be there because of the person that's there. I'm not going to give you the family's names. Perry, Georgia, Redford, Michigan, and Mansfield, Iowa. Now, as a person who was a fugitive myself, and I was around other people who went on the run and didn't last long, things like that, I could kind of tell you exactly what happens and what people do when they first, what they do. So knowing the condition of how they found her, like we don't know the exact condition, but we know that the way she was found, it was personal. Anytime you take a sharp object and you do this to somebody, it's personal, okay? Most of the time when somebody plans to do this, they'll use a different type of weapon, a firearm. Make it quick so that way they can hurry up and leave. When you're using another weapon where you have to poke somebody, it's personal. Oh, and you have to at least a lot of times do it multiple times before them to pass. It's passionate crime. Happens in a lot of domestic violence crimes, either strangulation or unfortunately how Shamekia was found. A lot of times it's one of those two. Now, when an individual usually does this, they'll panic and they'll have to leave and they have to get out. My first question is, does this person have a vehicle? Okay. Did Shamekia have a vehicle? Did they take Shamekia's vehicle? Those would be my first two questions. If they have a vehicle, a lot of times they can get away further, right? If they took the girlfriend's vehicle, they can still get away further. But they'll panic knowing they're driving the girlfriend's vehicle. And a lot of times they'll ditch that vehicle off somewhere because they know they're looking for that vehicle, just like they're going to be looking for his vehicle. If he has one, I don't know. Or what they'll do is they'll get away as far as they can on foot, bus, wherever they can. And then they'll call someone they can trust, a relative, or I hate to say it, another female or girl. That's what they'll do. Somebody that can trust. They won't tell them what happened, but they'll make up some story and say, hey, you got to pick me up because this and that, da, 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 da. And could you take me somewhere? And a lot of times they'll go back to that individual's place, apartment, house, or somewhere they feel safe or somewhere they're familiar with. A lot of times they're not just going to the first place, somewhere they've never been before. A lot of times it's somewhere they have been. They'll sit there, lay low for a little bit and try and figure out their next move and where to go next. And then what they'll do is they'll Google their name. They'll look all over Facebook. They're probably looking at this video right now. high. But they might be looking at this video right now trying to figure out, is anybody on my trail? If somebody's on the trail, a lot of times they will panic, and that's when they make the mistake, people. Like I said, there's family. He's got family. So if he did go somewhere quick, I'm pretty sure it could be down south away from town, because you keep going up north, you're going to run into Canada. Unless he's, you're going to run into Canada. So he's on the run right now for absconding, so he can't cross the border. They're going to see that, all right? They're going to see that. You have the Windsor border there by Detroit too in Canada. They're going to see that. So most likely, he's probably still in the Detroit area, or went to Iowa where he's known from, or kept going down south, like I said, because he has family in Kentucky, all right? I wish I can tell you more, but unfortunately on here I can't, and all this is allegedly for entertainment purposes only. I have to say this, but my condolences go out to the family. I hope they find justice soon for Shamekia. Rest in peace, beautiful young lady. This should not happen to anybody whatsoever. If you have any information on this case, please contact authorities. You can even contact me. My information is always below. I will relay the message for you, or if you have anything you want to share with me, you want to stay anonymous, that is perfectly fine as well, all right? I'm fine with that. Please like, subscribe, and share, especially this video. It needs to be seen by people. Turn on your notifications. Don't forget to do that so you can see the follow-up video to this, because I always try and do a follow-up video, especially if they catch the suspect, or if the suspect is somebody else. 90% of the time when I'm doing these videos, 90% of the time, when I tell you guys about somebody, a lot of times it's that somebody, all right? Now, I'm not saying he did it. Like I said, it's all allegedly, but 90% of the time, it's that somebody. So please look out for your surroundings. Take care of one another. Look at your surroundings, all right? This is Fugitive TV. Until next time, I'm out.